Hello everyone, welcome to the Group B match here today with Jules and Vishwa. This is going to be a really exciting one we have today because both have already qualified, but this is going to determine official seeding. So whoever loses is going to be the second seed, whoever wins is going to be the first seed. First seed usually has the advantage going in to the round of 16, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Alright. So let's get started. Vishwa, you are the better seed here, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, would you like to go with heads or tails?
I'll go with heads.
You'll go with heads. Alright, so we're looking for heads here. Let's see if we get heads. We are going to get tails. So, Vishwa, no, excuse me. Jules, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Alright, you're going to go first. Good luck. I'll server different you guys. Alright, both competitors have been server different, and we're going to get right to it. So, yeah. I know Vishwa's camera's been, no, excuse me, Jules' cameras has been a little laggy here today, but, yeah, definitely something to play for here on both sides, because, it's kind of important that we get that, yeah, but, oh, is that a, let's see what that is. There's a 402 from Jules to start us off here, wow. Okay, that's gonna scare Vishwa a little bit. Solved, too. Wow, okay. We're gonna wait for Vishwa here. Warming up with a 3x3. Vishwa's been really good at all-rounding from what I see. He used to never-size me before. That's a fun fact. I'm gonna think of some more fun facts I can think about. Yeah, but both competitors are already qualified, so they're gonna be probably not using their full energy, but I think Jules definitely doesn't want to be the second seed. That's not going to be the 402, I think. It's going to be a 5, yeah. That's going to be a point for Jules. Let's double check that. Yep. That is a point for Jules here. So, alright, we're starting off of a Jules point. We're going to see how long this lead lasts. I would say Vishwa is the favorite coming in, but that is obviously, you know, they could obviously prove me wrong here. Because Jules has always had great starts in the first half of the match, and then they kind of slip up in the second half, I would say, but, you know, there's always some ups and downs. That's pretty solid from Vishwa. It's going to be a 420. Solid clock. We're going to see what Jules gets here. Fun fact, Jules is named after the Cubicle staff member, Jules from the Cubicle. It's not a fun fact because I made that one up. But I do know a fact about Vishwa. Vishwa one time, it's a 440. It was a nice try from Jules there. Oh, but it's DNF anyway. So it's going to be a point for Vishwa. But, Vishwa once asked me if I had a boating license, and I do not have a boating license. I am not of legal age to have a boating license, so... Or, actually, I don't even know if there's a legal age, but even so, I do not have a boating license. He asked me this, like, over a year ago. In person, too, when we were staring out at the river. And just randomly said, hey, do you have a boating license? I thought that was really funny. Alright, Jules is going to start us off here on the top of your screen. Solid from Jules. That D move looked okay, but a flip from a no-flip solver is always a bad sign. That's going to be a 582 from Jules. Let's see how Vishwa deals with this. This should be a pretty easy point for Vishwa to capture, but we'll figure that one out in just a little bit. So Vishwa's going to be a little bit careful. A little bit more careful in the solve, I believe. At least that's what I hope, at least from a solver's perspective. Vishwa trying to break the tie. Being a little bit hesitant, though. It's a 520, so definitely not the average for him, but that's going to be 2 points for Vishwa. Both competitors have taken the lead in this match at some point, so that's always interesting to see. You need to go to Mrs. Puff's boating school. That's a great idea. I don't know how SpongeBob would feel about that, but okay. Sluggish solving from Vishwa. Or just bad camera quality. 484. Yeah, Vishwa averages like low 4 from what I remember, so. Yeah, not a great showing from Vishwa here. Jules can take over the point if they're lucky and also careful. It's a little bit frozen, but I don't see any mishaps so far. That's going to be a good solve if they don't DNF. That's a 4-7 something. And that's not a DNF. It's a 478. They have tied the match here, 2-2. It's very early, but something could definitely happen. You want to keep the early part of the match competitive so that you try to drain out the other competitor without trying to drain out yourself too much so that you would be able to steal their thunder once they're getting really tired. So, a lot of strategies to learn here. Vishwa has advanced to the round of 8, or the quarterfinals last year. It's a bad solve from Jules. I could tell from that turning and also that flip. Again, a flip from a no-flip solver is always really bad. I don't know what that time is, and I'm not even sure if it's solved. It's going to be a 769 from Jules, and it is solved. So, Vishwa can really safety on this one. But Vishwa has advanced to the quarterfinals before. He has done it. He has placed top 2 in his group once before. Although he was second to Zaid last season. But Zaid's not in this group anymore. Or not in this group this season, so. That's a safety from Vishwa for sure. It's a 5-10. That's going to do it if it's solved. And it is solved. So that's going to be a point for Vishwa. And Vishwa takes the lead once again. If Jules can keep on equalizing, then this could be a very tight match and it can get really intense very quickly. Because I am excited for this match. This is one of the rare times where I feel like a match that on paper doesn't sound really, it sounds kind of bland. It can actually be pretty spicy, especially since these two have been dominating their group really, because they got in. They've been undefeated so far, so someone's gonna take that loss. That's a 5 from Vishwa. I don't know how bad of a 5 it is though. That's a 530 from Vishwa. Alright. All Jules needs to do is to beat a 530. That's not that hard. If that's solved, they might. It's a 432. Is it solved, though? It looks to be solved. Yes, it is. That's going to be a point for Jules. And Jules has equalized once again. What an incredible thing to do. I think Vishwa really needs to step up his game. I know Vishwa doesn't really perform that well in the start and usually goes full chaos at the, or at least full like flow 4 mode at the end, but I feel like Jules kind of does the opposite. They kind of do really good at the start and then they start to lose their thunder a little bit, but Jules is just hoping, I guess, that Vishwa isn't the case. It's a weird timer stop from Jules. 527. It was still legal though. It is solved, so that's, Vishwa could slip up. He could slip up. That's not a walk in the park for him necessarily, but it is definitely an opportunity for Jules to take the lead or Vishwa to retain what he already has. Although he has Jules has equalized it just now, but that first side didn't look great. The second side could save it though. It's going to be a 516. That was very close. It's a solved clock. That's going to be a point for Vishwa. Jules is on Vishwa's tail right now. It is very close, even though these two competitors on paper it may be a little bit mismatched, but I still believe this is a very close game here. Competitive official solving is different than clock cup solving, for sure. It is a whole different ballgame, but it's the same puzzle, and it can still help you in official competition too. This just requires, I think, more strategy rather than just mindless solving and just kind of, oh, I'll make it next round. This is literally every solve counts, especially in the long run. If you're down the solve difference and you don't advance, well, it might have been because of that 8 you got or something, or that face jump you got, that one face jump from a match from 2 matches ago. That's a really interesting thing about Clock Cup. So you can't be conceding leads or a ton of points in the group stage, because and even if you make those like 15-1 runs like Jaden and Tommy have, they're not just doing it to show off, they're also doing it for their own advantage, because that can really help them in the solve difference game. But we're not playing the solve difference game here since these two have already qualified. That's a point for Jules. This just keeps going back and forth. Jules hasn't taken the lead in quite a while, but they've gotten extremely close. Nice effort from both competitors here, trying to make it competitive. Jules is going to start us off. This looks to be a pretty good scramble from what I saw. Yeah, that's a great scramble, actually. Some corner skips, you have that line in the back, but let's see how Jules deals with it. It looks to be a bit of a sluggish solve. Not very happy with that. It's a 537. Is it a DNF? I think it could be. They're not checking the backside. Nope. No, it's solved. 537 from Jules. Vishwa does really good on really easy scrambles too as well, so I wonder how he'll be reacting to that. Ooh. Bunch of flips from Vishwa. This could be the first time in a while where Jules takes the lead. Is that a 6 from Vishwa? I think that's a 6 from Vishwa. It's a solved clock. Yes, that's a 6 from Vishwa. That's going to be a really crucial point for Jules here if they decide to make this a really close match. Winning 2 in a row for the first time since Vishwa had took the lead at the very start of the match. Alright. Vishwa is trying to equalize here. You can't win by, no one has have a difference of 2 in this match, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. That's a fumble from Vishwa, maybe, or maybe that first side was just really fast. I don't know. I thought he did no flip for a second. What is that gonna be from Vishwa? To be a 536 from Vishwa. Very beatable for Jules, looking at the pace here that they've set. It's not a walk in the park, but if they don't fumble, which it doesn't look like they have, that's a 394, the first sub 4 of the match, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be, let's see, it's solved clock. So Jules takes a 2-point lead against Vishwa, first time in the match so far. It is incredibly interesting because it might seem like Vishwa is not really catching up here, but just wait until the later part of the match. This is what he always does. He always tries to pull it back, but it would definitely be very interesting seeing Jules take the first seed. That would be incredible. But that the flip cost them for sure. It's going to be a 625 from Jules. Let's see what Vishwa does here. Vishwa trying to make this competitive before this, or keep this competitive before it starts to get a little out of hand here, or out of his hands, literally. I hope I didn't give that the commentator's jinx, but first side looking very aggressive, second side looking very aggressive as well. That's going to be a pretty good solid. It's a 5 from Vishwa, definitely going to beat a 6. That's also a solid clock as well, so that will be a point for Vishwa. Yep, that's gonna be a point for Vishwa here. 6-5. Vishwa has a chance to equalize right now, but we'll see what happens here. Who's gonna get to the Magic 8 first? Yeah. So the competitors here are gonna be very competitive right now. This Vishwa can equalize with this solve, so we'll see him do that in just a little bit. But fun fact about Jules: Jules lives in a mysterious continent called New Zealand, and it is an incredibly interesting place because I have never been there, so I know it does not exist. Just like Europe does not exist, or Asia, or Africa, or Australia, or anywhere. Actually, no, New Zealand is not a continent. It's part of an oceanic region. Australia is a continent, so Australia also doesn't exist. But it's only North America that exists, bro. Ooh, sluggish from Vishwa here. Let's see what that is. Solved clock at least. 563 from Vishwa. Vishwa could be doing something here. This does look a little fumbly from Jules here, but 548. It was really close. They DNF'd though. Though they have not DNF'd, they've maintained the lead here. So that's gonna be 7-5. Jules is still in the lead. We'll see what happens. If Jules can get to the Magic 8, they'll be leading at the end of halftime, which would be probably a slight upset from what most competitors are expecting. Because I think Vishwa has held a NAR before. I'm not sure if Jules has held any OCRs before. I don't think so. I think Liam and some other folks or NRs usually dominate. That's going to be a 721. Not looking very proud of that. Oh, is that a... That's not a DNF, but it's going to be not a great solve. So let's see if Vishwa can take over. Vishwa? Lifting up the clock cover. Excuse me, the cube cover. Let's see what that is. Let's see what it's going to be. Taking a long time to inspect here. Not a lot of good options. It's an interesting flip I see. It's going to be a 5, I believe. And a solved clock. Yep, 570. 7-6 Vishwa here. Who will be taking the Magic 8? Vishwa has to win the next 2 to take the Magic 8. Jules has to just win 1. So, we'll see what happens. It can take anything to really crack the pressure here. And to make this really, really interesting and chaotic. But, so far it's close. So... it's interesting enough here. It's interesting to keep you on your seat a little bit. First side looking a little fumbly. The second side, there's a really awkward turn there I saw. But that's going to be a time, which is a solved clock. That's good. It's a 628 from Vishwa. Jules can take the Magic 8 pretty quickly. Just has to... as quick as 6.2 seconds or less. It looks like a really good solve, but looks a little shaky towards the end. That's going to be a 4, though. 425. Wow. Okay, that's a solved clock. 425 from Jules. The Magic 8 has been taken by Jules. So Jules is going to be leading by halftime, which is always a good feeling to have, especially if you're trying to make the decision to take the break or not. But let's see if Vishwa can snag a point here. Okay. This is going to be an incredible match because it is getting close. There's a lot of good solving here too. even if they're not really at their best. That's gonna be a 4 from Jules again. Is that solved? It is solved as well. Wow. 4 from Jules. 430. It's gonna scare Vishwa here a little bit. So Vishwa is gonna see what Vishwa gets here before halftime. First side, that's not gonna be a low 4 for sure. That's gonna be a 5 probably. Let's see what the final time on that was. That's a 6:29. So what do you guys like, a halftime break?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So all right, 9-6 right
I
now.
don't mind.
Yeah, 9-6 with Jules in the lead. We'll be taking a halftime break. I'll see you guys at 8:26 Eastern. Hey everyone, welcome back. So we're gonna get started here. I believe Vishwa, you are first.
Okay.
Stay up open server definition here, and we're gonna get started. So yeah, Vishwa's gonna be starting us off. Let's see how long Jules can hold up this lead, and if they can carry it to the end of the match, where if the results hold, they will be in first place in the group officially as the final standing, which would be incredible. But Vish would have to take the second seed again. But yeah, let's see if Vishwa can pull off something impressive here. So, Vishwa, interesting first side. I feel like that was a little bit of an awkward turning there. Not maybe the most clean, but it's probably a good solve anyway. 466, yeah, that's a pretty good solve. So let's see what Jules does here. Alright, let's see. That is a 488. It was a good effort, but Vishwa's going to take that point there. Yeah, Vishwa takes the point. It is 9-7. Vishwa could make this 9-9 if he keeps this pace, but he's only kept this pace for about one solve. I think Vishwa usually does pretty good with halftime breaks, so this will be a very interesting match if that is the case. This is already an interesting match, but this is going to make it even more interesting here, I believe. Okay. Not a good solve from Jules. 6-10. Is it solved? Yes, it is solved. So, even after that little fumble there. Let's see how Vishwa does. Vishwa's going to be expecting. Trying to be a 6-10 here, so we can get on that ledge to equalize. Definitely a little bit on the line here. Gotta make sure. Ooh, that's a DNF. Okay, so Jules maintains the lead into the double digits phase. It is 10-7 right now. Jules only needs 5 more points. Vishwa needs 8, but Jules can concede pretty easily if they're not careful, or if Vishwa steps up his game a little bit. Okay. Vishwa's going to start us off here. Brilliant first side. Second side. Oh, the fumble. Oh, that was a hard fumble there. That's a 5 from Vishwa, but could have definitely been a lot better. It's a 577. Yikes. And that could cost him the match, possibly. And also the first seed, if Vish was not careful. Fumbly from Jules there. But it's still going to suffice, I believe. 461 with a solved clock. Yep, that's going to be 11 points for Jules and 7 points for Cameron. What a showing. It's a 4-point deficit here to make up. Because if Vishwa gets unlucky here, he might have to face the likes of people like Samuel. I believe he might have to face Tommy. He could face Ryan Michael Breen. He could face Cham, which would definitely give him a harder time. 341 from Jules. Whoa, what was that? It's a solved clock too as well. Jules is starting to show some domination in this match. Vishwa hasn't picked up since halftime, only with that 466. But with those DNFs and that fumble, definitely not, maybe not the smartest decision to take the halftime break, but I guess that's just luck. That's not going to beat a free 41. But it got maybe close. That is a 438 from Vishwa. Yeah, so that's going to be a point for Jules for sure. Let me just update that. Yep. I just spilled some stuff on myself. Okay. Yeah, so Jules has been pulling I believe, a 5-1 run in the past 6 solves. That is incredible. So, those 5 points were extremely valuable because it might have just cost Vishwa. Those little slip-ups like that, one fumble, the one DNF, if it weren't for that, then they would definitely be at a much different spot right now. Both of the competitors is what I refer to by day. Good solve from Vishwa. It's a 432. Let's see if Jules can beat that. At the pace Jules is going, it's okay if they get lucky. This doesn't look like a particularly lucky scramble, I would say, but it is definitely pretty good. So 432 is not unbeatable, but it's also usually what Vishwa averages. That's not going to be a 432, I believe. Yeah, pretty forced timer stop there. It usually signifies that the competitors not beat the 432. Yeah, that's going to be a 7 from Jules. So Vishwa takes the point. 12-8. It's 4 points to make up here. Jules just needs 3 to win. So whoever wins is going to be first seed. And the first seed usually has the advantage here because first seed bypasses those folks like Cham, Tommy, those two, but there's a possibility that second seed also the second seed does the first seed does a little bit harder time. Ooh, it's a 5-7 something. Let's see, that's a 573, yeah. So the first seed can also have a pretty hard time as well because first seed still has to face possibly Carter Thomas, and also, what do you think here? Carter Thomas and either Ryan or Zaid, or even Jaden, even if he makes it out. But and you could also face some. I think you could face either Samuel Martin. Both are pretty consistent. You could also face Reed too as well, which I think is the scariest out of all of them. But that's gonna be 12-9 here. With that 5 from Jules. Definitely slowing them down a little bit. Jules has not gained any points in the past 2. Is this a comeback in the works for Vishwa? We'll see if it's in for him, but usually here I think Jules would be the main front runner for the what do you call it? The coming up story, I think, or the whatever you want to call it, I should say. First side looks alright, very aggressive turning, I should say. That's a 480 from Vishwa. I think this turning's been extremely aggressive. Not necessarily flow based here. Maybe they're just trying to get as many points as possible. But I feel like being consistent here is pretty important because Jules is extremely inconsistent. I think probably one of the more inconsistent solvers in Clock Cup. Let's see. A little bit laggy on my end, sorry. And also Jules is in as well. That's pretty solid. 429. Is it going to be a solved clock, though? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a solved clock. Yep, that's going to be 13 points for Jules. Vishwa does not break the double digits just yet. Jules only needs 2 more points to win. Vishwa needs 6. This is going to be a close match, to say the least. They were pretty neck and neck at the start, but it was Jules who took the advantage got that 5-1 incredible run. They've been slipping up a little bit, conceding 2 points, but I would say it's still in it for Jules and Vishwa, because if Jules slips up a little bit, that can definitely mess with their confidence, but not today. That's a 449. That's not going to be easy to beat for Vishwa with this recent form. Let's see what Vishwa can do. Can Vishwa take it a little bit easy here? That's a hope from Vishwa fans, I would assume. Just taking it easy, getting those points, staying alive for as long as possible. But that might do it.
Ooh.
Let's see. Wait. Ooh, from Jules. Is that really close? 404 from Vishwa. Wow. All right. 13-10. It's getting a little spicy here. 5 points for a Vishwa win. 2 more points for a Jules win. But keep in mind, if both competitors reach 14 points, it will go into overtime, which is a very real possibility if one of them slip up. But Vishwa would either have to pull off a 3 in a row or a 4 in a row run if he wants to have a little bit of a chance here at beating Jules, not giving Jules the advantage. But yeah, winning 3 or 4 solves in a row, it's not unheard of. I think Samuel got a 6-1 run once, and that's how he won the match against Oliver. When Oliver kind of threw a little bit there, but that's gonna be a solved clock from Vishwa and a 443. Very decent. Let's see if Jules doesn't let the pressure get to them. So Vishwa's going to pull off a 4 in a row run. This is number 2 right now to try to equalize the match here. And gets the 15 points, just the easiest way to advance out of here. But a little bit interesting. I'm not sure if that's going to do it, because my camera was a little bit sluggish. 569. That's not going to do it. That is not going to do it. That is a point for Vishwa. Vishwa is going. Vishwa is could take this over. It only takes a couple solves here. 2 more solves to equalize, but then again, it's also 2 more solves for Jules to win, so definitely sort of a close match. Stick around, invite your friends, maybe get a little something to eat, but don't go away here. That's going to be a 443 from Jules. Wow. So that solved clock it is. It could be match point if Vishwa does not solve this clock in under 4.43 seconds. We'll find out very shortly. Okay, Vishwa. Taking a while here. Vishwa. First side not looking good. Yeah, that first side looks really not great. That's going to be probably not beating a 440. Yeah, it's a DNF. It's a DNF. 14 points for Vishwa. Excuse me, for Jules. 1 more point for Jules to win. It would be 5 more points for Vishwa to win, because keep in mind, it is now match point for Jules. So this means that they will have to be going into a overtime scenario if Vishwa cannot pick up this point. But Vishwa's going to set the benchmark here. And he would have to get 3 in a row. So let's see if he can beat that. 3 in a row. It starts now. Or it could end now too as well. The first side looks amazing. The second side, just as great, I think. Let's see the time on that. It's solved. It is solved. It's gonna be a 427 from Vishwa. Can Jules pull it off? 427. That's the time to beat to win this match right now. Let's see if Jules can do it. A little bit laggy on my end. Sorry, I apologize. Has he already done it? 397, and I didn't even see it. What? Oh my god. 397. And Jules has won the match. So Jules has won the match here, 15-11. Because of your internet, I couldn't even see it. But yeah, incredible. Can we do a post-match interview here if you don't mind?
Yeah.
So yeah, Jules is going to take the first seed here. And Vishwa taking the second. It's not a bad place to be, especially if you're looking at some of these people here. So I want to get both of your thoughts on that match. Whoever wants to start can start first.
You can start.
I'll start. Uh, I did pretty well considering I get quite nervous in this Clock Cup.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised. This is I did really well. I'm very surprised that I won.
Yeah. Vishwa, what are your thoughts about that match?
Yeah, at the start, the until the halftime break, I was doing very bad compared to what I usually get. So that was pretty disappointing. But I mean, even though I didn't win, I'd say I still did fine after the halftime break, and Jules was much better than I expected. So great job to them.
Yeah, that is
Thank you.
yeah, that is amazing. But the great part about this is that going in, it kind of didn't really matter because you both advanced to the round of 16 anyway before the
Yeah.
smash. This just gave Jules a little bit of an advantage. So, Jules, actually, I'd like to hear from Vishwa first since you're the second seed. What are your expectations going in? How far do you think you're going to go? Is there anyone you want to get paired up against? Is there anyone who you don't want to get paired up against?
Um, the I'd say the only person that I don't want to get paired up against is probably Tommy.
Tommy? Yeah.
Um, and then I mean, I'm fun. I don't even know who's no, what I mean is I don't really know who's gonna be the first seed or second seed yet, but I'm excited to face anyone who is whatever seed. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll probably this match I didn't really care about that much, but and it ended up not turning out so great, but that's okay. I still am in the bracket stage, so hopefully the next match can go well.
Yeah, how far do you think you're going to go?
Hopefully I can win the next one at least. Um,
Yeah.
Getting top four is pretty hard though, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think it will be. Jules. So same question to you. What are your thoughts going into it? How far you think you're gonna go? Is there anyone you want to get paired up against? Is there anyone who you don't want to get paired up against?
Um, I kind of just wanna, I don't know, put my name out there, I guess, because
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, from at least other people' reaction of seeing me in this, they didn't realize that I was like at least sub five. So
Yeah.
it's pretty, I'm pretty excited to verse everyone. Like, even though I'll lose to a bunch of people, it's, I'm excited to verse them.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, these matches have been really fun.
yeah, you're
So,
undefeated in this group, which is an incredible feat on its own. I'm definitely excited for the both of you to see your round of 16 performances. So, Jules takes the first seed, Vishwa takes the second seed. That's another group with those two seeds decided. And yeah, so are there any other closing remarks you guys have?
Um,
yeah, thanks
yeah,
for a good match, this one.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, great job.
Yeah. All right. So see you guys at 9:30 for Ryan Breen versus Jaden. And also, wait, Vishwa. Opinions on versing Ryan. I'm genuinely curious about that. If he makes it,
Wait, opinions on what?
versing Ryan. If he makes it.
Um, I've already faced him before in season one. I would be really excited. I think that would be fun.
All
But
right.
the last time I faced him, I think I beat him by a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see if that changes or maybe it's the same.
Yeah. Okay. I will see you guys later, and I'll tell Ryan you said that. Okay, bye.